there's a feeling that shows up around the middle of the month. A quiet kind of math happening in the back of your mind. What's left in the account? What's still coming due? It's not panic. Not exactly. It's awareness that the gap is thin. This feeling exists in college apartments and suburban homes, in the cars of people driving to their second job, in the phones of teenagers watching their parents stress about bills. It crosses generations, neighborhoods, education levels, millions of people running the same calculation, wondering why money feels this way. This isn't about who's responsible. It's about how a system works and what it does to the people inside it. From the beginning, there's a story. You hear it in classrooms, from relatives, in commercials and movies. The story goes like this: work hard, get an education, find a good job, save money, buy a home, build a life, do these things and you'll be fine. The story makes sense. It has clear steps, a logical progression. Effort leads to reward. Planning leads to security. It's been repeated so often, it sounds like fact, like a law of nature. And for some people, it works exactly this way. They follow the steps. The outcome arrives. But for most people, something else happens. They follow the steps. They work hard. They try to save, and still, the feeling persists that they're behind, that they're barely keeping up. That one bad month could undo everything. The story doesn't explain this part, so people assume the problem is them. They must have missed something, made a mistake somewhere. But the gap between the story and reality isn't about personal failure. It's about structure. Over the last 50 years, productivity increased. Workers produced more per hour than ever before. Technology improved. Efficiency improved. Output improved. And wages grew slowly. Very slowly. In the past, a minimum wage summer job could pay for a year of college at a state school. Today, that same job wouldn't cover textbooks. Rent began taking a larger percentage of income. Healthcare costs rose faster than inflation. College tuition increased faster than almost everything else. The things people need to survive and build a life became more expensive, while the wages paying for those things barely moved. A previous generation could graduate high school, get a stable job, buy a house, and support a family on one income. Today, someone can do everything the system asks. Get the degree, take on the debt, find the job, and still split rent with roommates well into adulthood. The system didn't break. It shifted. The amount of labor required to access stability increased. While the reward for that labor decreased, most people exchange time for money. You show up, you work, you get paid, but time has a limit. There are only 24 hours in a day. You can work 8, maybe 10, maybe you push to 12, but eventually your body asks you to stop. There's a ceiling built into the model. Now consider how wealth actually grows. Not through labor, through ownership. Property appreciates while you sleep. Investments grow while you're at work. Businesses earn from other people's time. The system has 2 tracks. One where you trade time for money. One where money makes money without requiring your time. The first has a limit. The second doesn't. Most people start on the first track, and many never leave it. Not because they don't want to, but because access to the second track requires money left over after survival, and if every dollar goes to rent, food, insurance, and debt, there's nothing left to invest. Debt is sold as a tool, a way to access things now and pay later. College, a car, a home. For some people, it works. But for many, debt becomes the gap between income and survival. The medical bill you can't pay up front. The car repair that can't wait. Groceries on a credit card because payday is still days away. Debt isn't neutral. It costs money. Interest isn't just a fee. It's a weight. Credit cards charge 20% or more. Payday loans charge triple-digit interest. The less money you have, the more expensive it is to borrow. Meanwhile, people with assets borrow at low rates to buy investments. The system offers cheap money to those who need it least, and expensive money to those who need it most. The system doesn't announce itself. Instead, it shows you success stories. The influencer who made it, the entrepreneur who started with nothing. The message is simple. They did it, so why can't you? This is where the shame comes from, because you don't see the full picture. Family support, hidden debt, luck. The system makes success visible, and the scaffolding invisible. Struggle isn't random. It follows patterns. Certain jobs, certain neighborhoods, certain starting points. If it were purely personal, the outcomes would look different. People working full-time at minimum wage can't afford a one-bedroom apartment anywhere. Not because they're irresponsible, because the math doesn't work. So why do most people struggle financially? Not because they're careless, not because they lack discipline, but because the system has a shape, and that shape makes struggle common. Understanding this doesn't fix everything. It doesn't make rent cheaper. It doesn't erase debt, but it removes something else. The shame. You're not failing. You're responding to conditions. Millions of people are running the same calculation, feeling the same thin margin, wondering if they're doing something wrong. They're not. It's not you. It's the math.